Hi guys, welcome to Social Food Network, back for some more basic cooking skills. We're doing fish today, so I've got a whole sea bream down here and I'm going to show you how to fillet it. Sea bream's great, really sustainable fish. You can get it from supermarkets. This is a whole sea bream like I mentioned. It has had the sort of guts taken out of it, so you don't have to do all the dirty stuff, but effectively obviously we need to do the filleting. So in our first video when we were talking about knives, I went through the filleting knife for the fish. So it's your bendy, flexible knife. Just going to give it a little sharpen. A couple of things to look for when you're buying fish. I mean, obviously, if you buy fish from the supermarket, it's usually quite fresh. You know, they have really sort of good deliveries, and it is all usually really fresh. But we're looking for basically nice fresh eyes, so nice bright eyes. It doesn't want to smell too fishy, if that makes sense. And it should be sort of, you know, nice and smooth and not slimy. So there's a few things to look out for when you're buying the fresh fish. But like I say, if you're buying it from a reputable shop, then you should be absolutely fine. So a couple of things just to be wary of. You've got some spines along the back here. Now these are quite sharp, so we're just going to be careful we don't stab ourselves with them. And then obviously there's a couple here and obviously on the back there as well. So don't be scared. This is confidence. Obviously, you might take you sort of 2 or 3 times to get the hang of it, but it is all about confidence. So we're going to lift up this fin just behind the gill here. I'm going to take our knife and we're going to go in on an angle. Okay, so just use the knife like we was mentioning when we were talking about the chicken, and just use it. Okay, I'm just going to go at an angle. You're almost following the head round. Okay, so you're not going straight. You're going on an angle and you're following the head round. Let me turn it round and we're going to go along the spine here, okay? So again, our knife, it can just lean against it and we're going all the way down. And if our knife's sharp, it should just do all the work for us. So all the way up to the head. I'm going to go all the way down. And as you're going in, you'll start to feel the bones. And like the chicken, all you need to do is just pull it up and then you can see inside what you're doing. And then quite importantly, when you're filleting, is just small movements, nice and small. Don't let the knife get away from you. And when you get to the bones, you just need to be a little bit firmer. Don't be frightened of those. And when you get to a certain point, you're going to put your knife all the way through so it comes out that side. And then you're just going to go down like that. So that takes it off at the tail. And then we can open it up here. And then we're just going to, you lift the fillet up as you're working. Okay, so we're lifting the fillet up. And we're going to go under the bones there. You need to keep pulling the fillet up as you go. If you're not pulling up, then what will happen is you'll probably end up cutting through it. So we're just pulling it away as we go, all the way down. And there's one fillet off. Okay, and then we're going to turn it over and we're going to do the other side. So the good thing about prepping your own fish at home is you can then use the bones and make a fish stock, which I'll always show you. So again, we've got our 2 fins here, so we're going to lift them up, and our knife is going behind the head, behind the gills, in at an angle. Okay, and then we need to do this slightly different on the other side. So again, we're going to go in along the spine. Use the tip of the knife. Nice, steady and slow movements all the way up to the head. To there. And then open it up a little bit. And then just small movements. If you angle the knife towards the spine, then you're not going to cut into the flesh. I'm going to get all that fish off there, okay? So we're just going to go back down, all the way to the tail. You can hear the knife on the bones, which is a good sign. It means that we're keeping nice and close, and we're not going to end up losing a lot of the fish. Okay, so we're just going to cut through the few little bones there. Right, and then, like we did before, our knife is going to go through. It's going to come out, and then we're just going to take the tail off there. And then lift the fillet again like before. I'll turn it around so you can see. Move that one out of the way. So we're lifting a fillet like before, and we're just slicing down the bones there. And then we're just going to nick it off there. And then there's our second fillet. So the second one, the one underneath, is always a little bit trickier because you don't have the full fish there for stability. But then we're going to turn it over. Now there is some bones on the sea bream, so unless you have some pin bones or some tweezers, you can just pin bone them. But a quick way, a sort of cheap way, is just to go down there with your knife, a bit like you do when you're prepping mackerel. So you go down on an angle, so you're almost making a V shape. Trying obviously not to cut through the skin. And then you should be able to take them all out in one go. So there's nice fillet there with no bones in there. So we've got all the bones are out. Then we just need to trim this little bit up at the top. So that's where the gills, the fins were. So we're just trimming that up. And then we need to take the little bit out of the belly. So on an angle, just taking a little bit out of the belly there. It's always good when you're prepping fish to try and remain and keep the shape of the original fish, the original fillet. Okay, so that still there looks like a fish. We haven't straightened up all the edges. It's still got those beautiful shapes of the fish. So the only way now we would finish this for pan roast to get it ready is we'd just lightly score it. So you don't need to go too deep. Just put your knife through it, about 1/2 centimetre apart. So this is basically just going to help us when we're cooking the fish. It's going to help the skin crisp up. It's going to cook nice and evenly. And it's going to also stop the fish from curling up when we put it in the pan. So you can see there, really lightly scored fish. And that's one fillet done. So the exact same on the other side. So we should nick out the belly. Always your knife on an angle, so you're taking as little as a fish off as possible. Tidy it up there. Again, keep the shape of the fish, so follow the fish. And then the same sort of little trick with the bones. Knife on a bit of an angle. And the same on the other side. And we're just gonna nick that out. If you have got some tweezers, they are obviously ideally better. So once you've got your second fillet, which is boneless again, turn it over. And again, we're going to score the fish on this side. So nice and light. Use your 1-finger grip that we were talking about in the first video. And it's nice basic knife skills. All the way down to the tail. And I'm going to put that fillet next to that one. So there we've got it. We've got our beautifully filleted sea bream, 2 nice fillets, another basic chef skill. Obviously other fishes are slightly different, but this is the sea bream. And you would use a very similar method to a sea bass and a mackerel and a sea trout that you can buy in the supermarket also. So again, thank you for watching Social Food Network. We'll be back with some more basic skills very soon. And thank you very much. Take care. God bless. Bye-bye.